I have learned and continue to learn over the years, if I will build what God is building, God will build what needs to be built in my life. If I will build God's house, God will build my house. If I will commit myself, I'll say it again, if I will commit myself to building God's house, and God's house in our world today is the church, if I will commit myself to being a part of God's building program called the church, then God will build my house. It's a partnership that God enters into with us as we make covenant to work on and build what He's building. In the book of Haggai, there's a story that unfolds here for us that again requires just a little bit of history. The history is this: the children of Israel had been in Babylonian captivity and they came back to rebuild the temple again after Cyrus had let them return back home. And so they went back to Jerusalem for the rebuilding of the temple, and they laid the foundation of the temple under the folks like Ezra and those kind of individuals. So the temple foundations had been laid, but after the temple foundations had been restored, the people of Judah lost interest in building God's house. And so they started building their own houses. They left the foundations. Yeah, they were there, but nothing else happened. And so they started building their own houses and concerned with their own stuff. And over a period of years, literally a couple of decades passed, and nothing had been done with the foundations of the temple. There were weeds growing up because nobody had done anything to rebuild the temple. However, they were building their houses. And so God raised up a prophet by the name of Haggai. And I want you to notice how God speaks to them about this very important issue of not building what He wants built. This is what the Lord of Heaven's army says. The people are saying the time has not yet come to rebuild the house of the Lord. You're saying, hey, it's not time to do this. Then the Lord sent this message to the prophet Haggai. Why are you living in luxurious houses while my house lies in ruins? This is what the Lord of Heaven's army says. Look at what's happening to you. You planted much, but you harvest little. You eat, but are not satisfied. You drink, but you're still thirsty. You put on clothes, but cannot keep warm. Your wages disappear as though you're putting them in pockets filled with holes. This is what the Lord of Heaven's army says. Look at what's happening to you. God says, look, you've neglected building my house. You've been building your house, and you're working hard, but it seems like your crops aren't doing all that well, and you're putting your money into pockets with holes in it. I want you to notice what's happening. Something's wrong with this picture. What's wrong? And then He gives them the answer in verse number 8. Now go up into the hills, bring down timber, and rebuild what? Whose house? He says, stop focusing on your house right now, and I want you to rebuild my house. I want you to pay attention to my house. Then I will take pleasure in it and be honored, says the Lord. So God's saying, I want you to take care of my house. If you'll take care of my house, I'll take care of your house.